Hello everyone, Mipa here, trying to make your Monday a little better and maybe even something to look forward to. We are here with yet another Speedpaint, and unlike the past month's worth of videos I've been doing, this one isn't Dark Thoughts Away related, but it is still webcomic related. So, here's the thing. With the last webcomic I did for Dark Thoughts Away, check it out if you haven't already, I was using that one as kind of a test run to give me like a little bit of like experience in doing a webcomic, to see if I like it, to see if it could be a good way to do my stories, stuff like that. It's a little test run, you see. And I very much enjoyed making it. And I learned a few things, so isn't that convenient? Went just as planned. So I did very much enjoy doing it. I loved the characters, I liked the storyline, even though I had to make it small. And just doing each page and doing every little step just felt very rewarding to me, no matter what it was. Whether that was just getting the planned skeleton of what the page would look like, or doing the line art, or doing the color, doing the shading. Every little step of it I very much enjoyed, and it all just felt very rewarding the whole time. And like I said, I also very much liked the characters and how they looked, so that probably helped a lot. Speaking of, what I learned with that was that I needed to make sure I really enjoyed drawing the characters. Because in the past, when I did like a little animation thing once, that was a while ago, but back when I did that, it was difficult for me to do because I honestly hated drawing the person I had to draw for that. I was sick of her by the end of it. But for that one, the story animatic I did, that's a short that I made, and for Dark Thoughts Away, I really enjoy those characters. I bond with those characters, I like them a lot, and I like how they look, all that kind of stuff. That helped me be able to draw them over and over and over again, as webcomics or animatics need. Gotta draw them over and over again, that's kinda how it works. So, for this webcomic idea that I have now, I don't have a name for it yet, so you're gonna just have to deal with me calling it my webcomic idea, because that's all it is right now, honestly. I am really trying to focus on making sure I love every character, and making sure I'm truly invested with the storyline, because otherwise that's gonna lead me to give up on it. So, I need to make sure I have some kind of bond or connection with every single character, and make sure that the storyline is something I can really get invested in and enjoy the entire way through, even though obviously I'll hopefully know what's going on the whole time and what's going to happen. Because that's one of the little problems with making stories, is that you know what's gonna happen. One of the great things about stories is feeling the suspense and being on the edge of your seat, and that's a feeling I want to give people through my stories. But when you're making the stories, you know what all of it is, you know what's gonna happen, so you don't really get the suspense as much. And that can be a challenge, especially if you're doing something like a webcomic, which takes a long time to make. So you have to really be invested in it, even if you don't get the suspense as much. So I'm working on making sure I very much like characters and storyline. Now, something I should mention, because I haven't yet for some reason, is that if you look at look at this character here that I am drawing, this is one of the characters that should be in my webcomic idea. I like them a lot, so I'd say I've been doing my job right so far with this character. This is Luka. Luka. I feel like it being spelled with a K is less common, but that might just be me, because I've only ever seen it with a C, but to be fair, I've only seen the name once, so who knows. I'm not exactly the most experienced with this. But that's his name. His name is Luka. I have a name for him. He is one of the, 3 characters I have named so far, and there are so many characters in my webcomic idea. But this is Luka. Luka is an orphan. Alright? So, because of this, somehow, I'm still kind of figuring this part out, somehow he got to live at the castle with the royal family, and he is being raised as the apprentice mage. There is a mage at the castle. Their name is Mr. Arcade. I'm not going much into them right now, because I'll probably have a little video similar to this for Mr. Arcade. But Luka is raised as the apprentice of Mr. Arcade, and something goes wrong there, but I'm not gonna go into that right now because I don't want to spoil anything if I do manage to get this webcomic idea to work. So, Luka ends up being the main character. With the thing that goes wrong, he ends up needing to leave the castle to find a band of people to team up against the villain that comes up. So, the reason I have him traveling so much in the story, there is a reason for it. It is because something I very quickly figured out with Dark Thoughts Away is having to draw the same background over and over gets really tedious. Like, drawing that, forest in the background over and over was more tedious to me than drawing the characters. Drawing the characters I was fine, but doing the background over and over again was a little bit more challenging. So, I'm having my characters in this story travel a lot, because then that means I have a bunch of different backgrounds I can draw, and I won't get sick of it as quickly. Yes, I feel smart. So, to travel out and find people. And this is where the million characters comes in. There's not really a million, there's I think 8, I think. 8 characters, I think. Although in the group, I think there may only be 7. Maybe? No. I think there's still 8. I can't even keep track of them. But there's a lot of them. And I did this for a reason too. Because they will end up slowly coming in, so then once I start getting sick of drawing the other characters, not saying I will, but if I start getting sick of drawing the other characters, then what will happen is that then there will be another character that is introduced, and then I'll be really hyped to draw them. And then motivation comes back. Because that was something else I noticed with Dark Thoughts Away, is that when I finally got to draw Tawny, I was just so excited. So, I think having that opportunity to have that, motivation and excitement re-sparked by getting to, draw another character throughout it will help me keep going. And then also, it just keeps me excited. And then, since there are more characters, it may help with, having to draw the same ones over and over again. And that's everything that was going into this webcomic idea. For this drawing, I gave Luka a yellow background because every character I have has a magical element attached to them, because I decided that for this world, there are different elements of magic that people do. Although there are some humans that just don't. But, you know, there's a whole complex system behind it, and I will cover that in a different character video, I assume. But Luka is the light element, so I thought giving him a yellow background was fitting. Anyway, this is Luka. I hope you like him, because I really do. I think he's cute. Little 16-year-old boy. He kind of looks younger than 16, but he is 16, I promise. That's important in the story, it'll come up, but that's not the point. I'm gonna stop rambling now. I hope you all enjoy. There should be a short version of this if you want to go check it out. But that's all I have for this week. I hopefully will be seeing more of this webcomic idea, and I bet we will, because I'm very invested in it now. Until then, though, I hope you all have an amazing week, everybody. Goodbye!